Our distinguished delegates, now I'd like to invite onto the stage all the chairs of the conference, the ENUIMUN 2018. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so you can take a seat. So 4 days of the conference has almost come to an end. And now is the moment that I don't want to be standing here because I have to say goodbye to you in just a few minutes. And as a Secretary General of ENUIMUN International Model United Nations 2018, I would like to give my sincerest thanks to their participation in this conference, the second session of ENUIMUN International Model United Nations 2018. This year, in the framework of the conference, we have in total 5 committees with 7 meetings in total. And I am honored and I'm really privileged to have the participation and to witness the hard work during the committees in 4 days. And now I would like to give the floor for all the chairs of 5 committees to offer the comments and some explanations, summarization of the work that has been done effectively by all the delegates and chairs during 4 days. First, I'd like to invite to the podium the chair of Disarmament and International Security Committee, Billy Bill.
Thank you, Secretary General, and I think I speak for all the chairs when I express my thanks to you for accepting our applications to chair at this conference. Particularly Christian and I were here last year, and it's been nice to be back again with a totally new set of delegates and a totally new experience as well. So having been selected to chair the DISEC committee, a few months ago, we were allocated 2 agenda items. The first was the establishment of a nuclear weapons-free zone in the Middle Eastern region, and the second was united action with renewed determination towards the total elimination of nuclear weapons. So firmly grounded in the topic of nuclear disarmament, both with a regional focus and with a global focus, delegates have put all their efforts into writing 2 draft proposals, which then became draft resolutions, which were then adopted by considerable margins by the General Assembly this afternoon. Having spent the best part of 2 days with the committee, I think it's always difficult to know what to expect with a committee. When you arrive, you don't know who's going to be beginners, you don't know who's going to be more experienced delegates, but actually I think towards the end of the sessions it became less clear who the beginners were and who the experienced delegates were. Everybody got involved, particularly in our consultations, also known as unmoderated caucuses. We had draft proposals submitted quite early on in each session, which allowed us to focus debate and to make considerable progress on these issues, such that our fixed timetable that I fixed at the beginning of the session, spend 2 meetings on topic A, 2 meetings on topic B, and the last meeting on voting was stuck to strictly. So thank you to delegates for that, for their efficient work. Very interesting points raised above, across the board. I've chaired committees before where not everybody gave even a general statement, but everybody gave a general statement. Everybody spoke on several occasions, and so I'm very pleased with the work we've done. With that in mind, as you know, it's a chair's job to nominate certain people for special recognition. At this particular conference, we have two awards, the Best Delegate Award and the Diplomacy Award. These are based on my assessment of your performance in each of the 3 days of committee work and on your additional performance and contribution to the overall ENU experience, including participation in the will. So with this in mind, the Secretary General has some names for me. Okay, so our Certificate of Diplomacy Award for the Disarmament and International Security Committee goes to our delegate of South Africa, Matthys Ongad-Leben. He's got to get dressed first. It's nice actually that you clap until they get up to the stage, because there's nothing worse than getting the initial clap and then not having enough to get here, so that's nice, thank you for that. Our Best Delegate Award goes to somebody who submitted our first draft proposal, in fact submitted a draft proposal on both agenda topics. I was informed very early on that this was only his second conference, the first one having been last week. Yet his statements were outstanding, and his draft proposals formed the solid basis for all the work, or the majority of the discussions we had in committee. So, Nicolas, our delegate of France.
Merci. C'est un peu.
So all that remains for me to say is that everybody who's participated in our committee has a participation certificate as well, which will be available at the end. Or now? You want one now? Okay, come see me at the end for a little goodbye and a participation certificate. Thank you all for your work, and everybody a round of applause for DISEC Committee.
Now I'd like to give the floor to the chair, Madam Chair, to the chair of Social Humanitarian and Cultural Committee, Mr. Abdurrahim Siddiqui.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, honorable chairs and distinguished delegates. I would like to start by saying thank you for the hard work and dedication of the host team and the volunteers to make ENUIMUN 2018 one of the best chairing experiences for us. Without them, it wouldn't have been possible. In regards to our committee sessions, SOCOM committee, chairing SOCOM committee was a challenging experience with the amount of experience in the committee and with the amount of hard work that the delegates made. Actually, deciding on the awards was quite difficult, but without any further ado, I would like to mention the award names. So we have the first award for the Diplomacy Award. It goes to Maria Konoptseva, the delegate of Cameroon. Next up, we have the Best Delegate Award, and I would rather mention that the delegate of Hungary, 4th of June. In order to get your certificates, we'll meet at the end, and for a group photo also, so just meet me at the end. Thank you.
Now the floor is given to the Madam Chair of United Nations Human Rights Council, Tineke Aberayet.
Dear delegates, dear co-chairs, secretariat and volunteers, in the Human Rights Council we discussed three important topics: the human rights situation in Myanmar, technical assistance and capacity building in Yemen, and the safety of journalists all over the world. We discussed these topics as countries, but we also met as people in the Human Rights Council. We have people from very different ages, backgrounds, experiences, and from different countries. And this enabled us to have a wonderful exchange of ideas and perspectives and views. And I am really incredibly proud of the progress that I've seen you make during these last few days. And I really hope that you carry all the enthusiasm that I've seen in you, and also the talent that you have to other conferences if you like to, but in life in general, more importantly. For me, this was my first time chairing in a real conference, and I really could not have imagined a better experience, so thank you for that. Also thanks to the volunteers and the secretariat for all the work that they did. It was a wonderful experience, but I cannot say that it was easy. We ended up being a very small committee, and even smaller in the beginning because a couple of people were delayed due to travel problems, which meant that the people that were there had to work incredibly hard to keep the committee going. And so I think it's clear to all the delegates of the Human Rights Council who will deserve the Best Delegate Awards. You all know him as the winner of the Will, but he worked incredibly hard in committee. He worked on all three draft proposals that we submitted, and he was always the first person to speak. So please welcome to the stage Matouf Iksam as the Best Delegate. I think the winner of the Diplomacy Award is just as obvious to all the people in the Human Rights Council. We know her also as a finalist of the Will competition, and in the Human Rights Council she was sometimes a little timid, but she always surprises with very insightful speeches. So please welcome to the stage Anastasia Shirokorat. all other delegates, I will be happy to hand you the certificate of participation after the closing ceremony, and I will also want a group hug and a group picture.
Now, I would like to give the floor to the President of Security Council, Mr. Grival Anisik.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank the Secretariat for a very nice conference. I'd also like to thank all of my fellow chairs for a splendid time, and all of our delegates for enabling me to have a very nice conference. So first of all, I would say when I came here, I had one specific goal, and that was that I wanted to encourage every single one of the participants of my committee to achieve the best they could and to improve as much as they could. And I must say that I was very happy that I did see incredible improvement in a lot of delegates. In particular, I'd like to mention the delegate of Sweden and the delegate of France, who I think were very frightful and shy at the beginning. But with a bit of encouragement, they've managed to deliver some of the best speeches of the entire committee. So I would really like to congratulate both of them. It's a very nice thing to confront your fears. Other than that, we did manage to pass a final proposal. We had 3 draft proposals, and we did manage to discuss a lot of different issues, particularly political reforms, the problem of chemical weapons, humanitarian aid, sovereignty, and so on. I'm also very happy to announce that we started very slowly with only 30-second speeches, but by the end of the conference, we managed to get those speeches up to 1 minute 30 seconds, and delegates still needed some more time to speak. So that was really nice. Other than that, let's just move to the awards to save some time. So first of all, I would like to say that this decision was really hard, and there were 4 main contenders for the awards. First one was the Federation of Russia, but unfortunately she fell ill on the 2nd and 3rd day, which is why she was not able to fully push forward her points. The second nominee was the delegate of the United Kingdom. He was also extremely good at raising very important motions, very important points, specifically at the political philosophical level. Unfortunately, he had an issue with the visa, and therefore he had to leave some of the meetings early. And it is a very big pity, because I think if he would be able to attend the meetings, the debate could change massively. Now we're moving to the Diplomacy Award. The Diplomacy Award will go to the delegate of China. If you could please come here. So as said, just to give a short reason, the delegate of China was at the end of the day able to change the debate and to manage to divert the attention from the points brought to the UK to the points brought by China and the United States, and therefore he did take it over, unfortunately, with the delegate of the United Kingdom. The delegate who I gave the best delegate award was the delegate of the United States. Right, thank you very much. To say I did like how she developed her points. I think she was relevant at all times. She was also very good at pushing the debate forward. Before I leave, I would like to once again remind all the delegates of what I was telling them. In your speech, don't just feel that something is obvious. Do ask the question why, even if you think something is trivial. And do remember to be engaged in the debate and try to negate the points of the opponents by proving, first of all, why something is not true, and then even if it is true, why it is not relevant. And with this piece of advice, I'd like to leave the floor and remind the delegates to pick up the certificates after the ceremony. Thank you.
Now the floor is given to the Chair of the Council of the European Union, Mr. Christian Trenk.
Thank you. As most of you will still remember, if you don't have a very short memory, we spoke about the Myanmar/Burma Rohingya crisis. I'm not going to go into more detail because you've heard the results, basically. Our committee took a bit of warming up, but when that was done, which was rather quickly, we had a very engaging committee, very engaged, very endearing delegates, very enthusiastic delegates who put in hard work, in a committee that is different from other committees in that we had very little formal sessions with raising motions, etc. Instead, lots of working groups on the first day, and then amendments in a rather different way than you're normally used to on the second day, and voting today, which is rather similar to all other committees. I'm extremely grateful to all the delegates for the work they put in. I commend them for the progress they made, and I'm very happy to have met you all. I thank not only my delegates, but also obviously my co-chairs, all the organisers, but most importantly of all, and I know that all the other chairs will want to associate themselves with this comment as well, those people who do everything for us, from getting us water to sacrificing their time at the expo to find me a Russian copy of The Hobbit. Thank you to all our volunteers. And I've been handed 2 pieces of paper that detail the Diplomacy Award and the Best Delegate Award. As I said, I was quite happy with all the delegates. Diplomacy Award will be given to the delegate of Austria, Abujan Bayzak, who was also the President of the Council. Leave me hanging there. One more certificate for Best Delegate. This goes to the delegate for Bulgaria, Merim Egenberdieva, who you also know from the world. I'm not sure I'm going to promise a group hug, but the photo is definitely in order.